Make the ground shake.
What's up everyone, in this video I'm going to be looking at a new premium tank which is coming in, I assume, 1.10, and it is the T34 Independence, which is essentially just a T34 but with the skin to kind of represent Independence Day. So this is basically just like the Jagdtiger 88 and the Snowstorm Jagdtiger 88, which was essentially just a Jagdtiger 88 but with a skin. So since this is just a skinned out T34, I'm basically going to call this a T34 review as well as an Independence, so let's get straight in. So the T34 will cost you 7,600 gold from the tech tree if you're buying the regular version, but if you're buying the Independence, I take it it's going to be a one-time cost as the Jagdtiger 88 was. So you're going to get a premium tank worth your 7,600 gold, and I think that is a yes to an extent. So basically, let's just look at the aspects of the tank and I'll let you decide for yourself. Okay, so starting off with the armor, the T34 or T34 Independence gets 102mm of armor to the front, 76 at the side, and 51 at the rear. So this gives the tank pretty weak armor on the hull, but the thing is, the hull frontally can actually withstand tier 6s. I mean, tier 6 mediums, most of them will have problems penetrating this tank frontally if you angle. So tanks like the Cromwell, the M4A3E8, and just tanks like that. And even at tier 7, tanks like the T43 will have problems. If you have under 150mm of penetration, which is what you need to go through the tank reliably angled, then you can just aim at the machine gun weak spot at the front of the tank. So any tier 8 will be able to penetrate this tank's hull no matter what. And the strong point of the tank is really the turret. It gets 279mm of armor at the turret. It gets 127 at the sides and 201 at the rear. Now, gun depression wise, this tank gets 10 degrees of gun depression, which is absolutely amazing. So you can use tactics like hold down to just do damage to your opponents without them being able to damage you back. Every map in the game has at least one point where gun depression is needed, so you can use one of those points as a cooldown location where you can just rain death on your enemies, which is what the American tanks are kind of known for. So tanks like the T29, the T32, and so on. The thing this tank is good for with a strong turret is going up close to enemies and just decimating them like you're seeing right now, and this is called face hugging. So the T34 has an effective turret which can bounce shots, and you just don't take any damage. You can aim at their gun whilst you're reloading to increase effectiveness of the chance that they bounce, and yeah, you can just have fun like that. But you're not invincible using these hold down tactics, because like every tank, it has weak spots, and we're going to look at those right now. So on the turret, you've got this little patch there where it's pointing right at the top of the turret. That is 200, well, you need more than 200mm to be able to penetrate that, and it's a very, very small target. See, you've got the top of the turret, which is easily penetrable, but I think at a steep angle you won't be able to go through that. And obviously the most prominent weak spot is the cupola on the top, which is where you have to aim to be able to penetrate this tank frontally on the turret, and it's also a very small target, so you're going to have to be pretty up close or pretty accurate to be able to hit it. The T34 Independence gets a 120mm gun which has some ups and some downs, so let's start with the ups first. It has 400 alpha damage, which is really good. It's got 248mm of penetration, which makes it the best tier 8 heavy tank penetration, and also just the joint second best, along with the T20 prototype and the Ferdinand, as the most penetration at tier 8, so that's insane. And it's got pretty decent 0.35 accuracy. So the downsides to this tank are the 3.4 second aiming time, which is absolutely awful, and also the 4 second rate of the 4 round rate of fire. So that means it has a reload of 16 seconds when with 100% crew and not fully equipped, and that's long. And the ISU-152 with the BL-10 out reloads this gun, and the Ferdinand with the 128mm can fire 2 shots in the time it takes to the T34 to load 1, so it's pretty safe to say that this tank has the longest reload at tier 8 terms of fully upgraded guns. Let's focus now on the penetration, which, as I said before, is absolutely amazing. So 248mm of penetration is pretty much enough to go through the front of a T125, through the front of most tier 10s, and even through the front of an IS-7, lower front plate, and an E100 with ease. So this tank definitely does not get preferential matchmaking, and it will see tier 10s. With this gun you're able to punch through tier 10s, you can hit them hard, you're still a threat on the battlefield to any tier 9 and 10 because of your good alpha damage and your good penetration, but you're going to have to stay back a bit after you fired to make sure nobody with a better rate of fire just rushes you. It's also the fact of the aiming time, where you have to actually come out before you've reloaded to be able to aim your shot and fire, which means you could potentially take hits and that could actually get you killed. Okay, so let's talk about the maneuverability of the T34 Independence. So the T34 Independence weighs 65 tons, which is very heavy. Well, it is a heavy tank, but that's on the heavier side. It's got an 810 horsepower engine, it's got a speed 35 kilometers an hour max speed. It's got a traverse speed of 22 degrees and a turret traverse speed of 18 degrees a second. So I think that the traverse speeds especially are kind of underwhelming, so this leaves you vulnerable to be flanked by mediums, but in a straight line the tank actually can reach its top speed because of the engine power. So the slow traverse speed kind of gives it a bad dispersion. I mean, I think it has a bad dispersion when traversing the turret anyway, so the slower traverse just doesn't feel like it makes it better. I mean, you just see right now how slow the turret traverses. Engine on this tank, I honestly don't even know if it will give it a good power to weight ratio, but it does, as I said, go well in a straight line. Unfortunately though, the engine itself has a high chance to be set on fire. I think it's 20%, so you have to be ready to kind of press your fire extinguisher button when you're hit in the rear, or just don't let anyone get behind you at all. Okay, so that's the end of the video. Hopefully it was informative to you, and I've just noticed I haven't really given you any eye candy of the skin, so here's some right now. I mean, thanks for watching, subscribe if you're new, leave a like if you actually enjoyed this video, and bye!